How you liking hosting way too early?
Dude, it's been good. I'm like fully, I was like, how am I? I'm fine. I like, honestly, the schedule was the hardest part. And I feel completely like on the hamster wheel of it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like I go to bed at 7 p.m. like,
Right.
I'm not that person, but it works. Like,
Got everything? Think so.
oh,
Yep.
thanks.
you're really
That's
good at
so
it.
nice.
You're really
you guys.
good at it.
Thanks. That's really, really nice. I also just
Perfect.
Like, the team that existed well before me and will outlast me.
All
as
right.
well, like they are so well oiled at it. I mean, it's the morning joke.
All right, you too.
Just get up, an hour earlier.
Better do your job right now, you two.
Throughout, but like they just run such a tight show. That like it's the
Freaking nugget
I
time.
think it
That's what I like to
matters
see.
so well with coming to this place.
Yes.
And, like,
Alrighty.
recording, and then like it feels like I always think of it as like the arrows that like point to each other in a circle. Like that's kind of how I feel like the first half. Of my
Morning,
day
Pam.
points to the next
How we
half of
doing?
my day, and then the back half of my day points
What's
to
the
the next.
beginning of it? Yeah.
And it feels
Good
like it's
morning.
a really good like synergy flow. So yeah.
All right.
It's a fine thing. It's a good thing. Yeah, except like state of the hours. Only the hours.
Stretching, stretching,
Only exist if I clock.
stretching, stretching.
An hour. Nothing can disrupt it. I mean, the only day we've ever had to cancel guests the morning of.
Let's go.
Pretty extenuating circumstance. And like, so we never.
We're supposed to have the end of the shutdown today. Sometime today they're gonna vote, and I'm excited to see that. It all starts here, actually. So when I hear what the tone is gonna be like, you just can tell the price of XRP is trying, but right now the trend is too powerful. Trend is just not letting us continue higher. I mean, you just see it right now. So I'll keep an eye on it. I'm ready to go and listen to what they're going to talk about today. Also, Trump is talking later today as well. Yesterday, he spoke on a few other things. That was pretty nice. I mean, there's some videos I'll probably show to you guys. Look at this. 77,000 from 79,000. So, I mean, it's like we're trying, right? Like, I mean, we're really trying, but the trend is too powerful. Sellers are in control, and that's what we're seeing right now. It happens. Pampirip, of course. What's up, buddy? Welcome. Ghost in the house. Chipper, what's up, guys? I'm tired of winning. Somebody said, I'm tired of winning. I get you. I feel you. I feel you a lot. Awesome. All right. Good morning, Pam. So, give it up for another week and another day of a bunch of news and updates. Excited. Also, we have Ondo going live today. Let me go ahead and open it for you. Ondo. The Ondo Summit is live. Here it is. Let's tune in for a second. The Ondo Summit is live. Watch the biggest event in tokenization with BlackRock, BTCC, the White House, and more.
Combined with our product innovations, have led Ondo Finance to become one of the most recognized RWA brands in the world, even used to illustrate tokenization in official White House reports. A fantastic year of delivering both products and partnerships to make Wall Street 2.0.
So it just comes to show, guys, that there he is. Comes to show that there's a lot of things cooking, right? A lot.
Oh my God.
In crypto, the shutdown.
Hey,
Trump,
good morning, everybody.
you know.
Hope you all are staying warm and glad to see everybody. The sidewalks are starting to get de-iced, so that's a bonus, right? But let me comment on today's appropriation vote. No president has been stronger or more consistent on securing the border and removing criminal, illegal aliens from our communities, period. Strongest president ever. I have complete trust in President Trump that he will continue to enforce the rule of law, including each and every one of our immigration laws. So here's what we're going to do this afternoon. One, we're going to pass the legislation to finish funding more than 95% of the federal government at Trump spending levels, not Biden spending levels. And two, on the sliver that remains, we will keep the wheels of progress turning and let the president do what he does best, and that's negotiate a final deal on his signature issue. And I'll tell you what, if anyone can get this deal done that is going to crack down on illegal criminal aliens to protect our community, that's going to be President Donald J. Trump. So, with that covered by our president, House Republicans are remaining focused on Americans' pocketbooks. Tax filing season began last week, and thanks to House Republicans, it's going to be easier than ever for working families to file their taxes. And why, you ask? Because Republicans expanded the standard deduction. To put it in plain English, the first $31,500 a family earns is tax-free. So the first $31,500 of every family, tax-free. And that does something else that's very important. It saves you time. About 210 million hours of paperwork gone. And that's 210 million hours and 210 million hours of time that the Americans people can spend on doing what they want to do, not filing their tax returns, burdensome tax returns. But here's what's really important that's missed. Every single Democrat voted against that $31,500 standard deduction. Every single Democrat voted against saving you time and making tax filing easier. And every single Democrat voted against saving you money. Remember, and I say this every time I'm up here, and one of these times it's going to get covered by y'all, every single Democrat voted to raise every single American's taxes. I'm going to say it again. Every single Democrat voted to raise your taxes. Please highlight that in your stories. I mean, I would think the Democrats would be proud to raise your
More
taxes.
taxes,
They need
baby.
to own that. Republicans are saving you time and saving you money. So this week, House Republicans are taking that message directly to the people. All across the country, we're reminding Americans exactly what happened and the impact that it will have on their families. Simply put, Republicans voted to make tax filing easier. Less bureaucracy. That's a good thing. Republicans voted to cut taxes for working families to keep more money in your pockets. Democrats, again, voted against that. Democrats want more bureaucracy, and Democrats want more of your hard-earned tax dollars. Democrats want to raise your taxes. Republicans want to lower costs and keep more money in your pocket, simply put. So now I will turn it over to our whip, who's done an amazing job, Mr. Emmer. You can raise this. Without squeak.
Need some Earl.
Yeah, there's funding for that in the bill.
There. Now I can actually see what I
We can barely see his face.
Once again, Republicans are making clear that we are the party of responsible governance. While Hakeem Jeffries foolishly urges his members to hold the American people hostage for the second time in less than 6 months, House Republicans are preparing to vote, as we've already done, to fund the government with individual appropriations.
There you go.
We passed these bills once before, and we will pass them again. As promised, Republicans in the House have reclaimed the power of the purse. 11 of 12 America First spending bills have bills have passed through both the House like. The American people deserve a functioning government, and House Republicans will deliver. Just like the Democrat government shutdown in October, Hakeem Jeffries and far-left Democrats want a political show. What's their angle this time? Obstructing President Trump's successful law and order agenda. Thankfully, Republicans thought ahead. In response to the devastating Biden border crisis, we proactively funded immigration and customs enforcement operations for the next 4 years in the One Big Beautiful Bill. The Democrats' attempts to stifle immigration enforcement and protect dangerous criminals, especially in my state, will prove to do nothing more than hurt law-abiding Americans. Some in their party actually know this, and we hope they will do the right thing. But even if not, law and order and responsible governance will prevail thanks to Republican leadership and despite obstructionist best efforts. We must get this government funding bills to President Trump's desk swiftly for the good of the American people. And with that, I turn it over to our leader, Steve Scalise.
Steve Scalise.
Thank you, Whip. Well, look at that.
Is that a burst?
Whoa, it's like autopilot here. We've got a runaway podium. The Democrats have tried to shut this thing down, too. Once again, today, Republicans will reopen the government after Democrats shut it down. It's like we've seen this movie before, just a few weeks ago, that Democrats shut the government down for a record amount of time. And it took President Trump working with Republicans to finally get it reopened. And we're going to do that again today. And as the whip said, if some Democrats want to join us, we welcome them. But you've seen their leaders, like Hakeem Jeffries, say they want to keep the government shut down. And you'd ask why. Well, it's surely not over ICE, because we've already funded ICE in the One Big Beautiful Bill. But what does a no vote mean today? If Democrats like Hakeem Jeffries vote no today, they're voting against a 3.8% pay raise for our troops. That's in this package. What they're saying is they don't want our troops to even get paid, let alone get a pay raise. Because as it stands today, troops will not get their next paycheck if Hakeem Jeffries and Democrat leaders get their way. TSA agents who keep our airports operating so people can go see relatives flying around the country, that will shut down if Democrats vote no. FEMA is right now giving aid to a lot of states that have had massive damage from freezes. Democrats voting no shuts that down. And so Republicans will be the responsible party once again to keep the government open, to reopen this government, and focus on the priorities that the voters elected Donald Trump and House and Senate Republicans to go implement. We will keep doing that work, even with a razor-thin margin. And I know, yes, sometimes the odds look lower than the Patriots winning the Super Bowl, but that's okay. Because we are here to do a job, and we're going to do that job. And whoever wants to join us on the Democrat side is free to. And look, we've been able to deliver a lot of bipartisan wins on a number of areas. If you look at holding people accountable, Chairman Comer is right now in the middle of a negotiation with the Clintons. Bill and Hillary Clinton were subpoenaed on a unanimous vote, Republicans and Democrats voting unanimously, which almost never happens in the Oversight Committee, and it did, to say they have to come forward and testify over the Epstein files. And they have been refusing and refusing for months, and finally at the midnight hour, when a contempt resolution is sitting over their heads, did they finally start talking, but they are not in full compliance. They have until noon today to fully comply, otherwise we will move contempt tomorrow against the Clintons. And again, that was a bipartisan vote out of committee to say that nobody's above the law. The Clintons have to comply.
Could you
with the
imagine
subpoena
the
like
Clintons coming in
everybody else.
before Congress?
I think it was Jamie Raskin who said,
Bruh.
when you're subpoenaed by Congress, you have to show up. We'll see how he votes on that tomorrow if the Clintons fail to comply. But we're going to keep doing our job. We're also bringing an important bill on critical minerals to the floor to open up the vast resources of this country that have been shut down by the previous administration so that we don't have to be reliant on countries like China for the critical minerals that run so many of the products we use every single day. This Republican majority is going to keep delivering for the American people while we meet the basic obligations of government, like keeping the government open and reopening the government, which we'll do today. The man at the head of that effort is our great speaker, Mike Johnson.
Thank you, Steve. Well, all right, it's not on autopilot anymore. I do. Makes you feel taller. So grateful to be with you all, and I'm sorry we're in this situation again. It's like Groundhog Day in a way, the movie, the bad movie, where we come back to the same failed measures of the Democrats. It was just less than 3 months ago that they shut the government down for the longest period in history, 43 days. It was painful for so many Americans. Finally, a handful of them saw the light and helped us to get the government operating again. Republicans have demonstrated over and over that we are the grown-ups in the room. We are the ones that are governing. We are the ones that are funding the government. We are the ones that are providing the vital services and trying to make government work more efficiently and effectively for everyone. After that long historic shutdown that was so painful, appropriators in both parties got together. I tip my hat to Chairman Tom Cole of the House Republican chair of the Appropriations Committee and all of our committee members. The Cardinals, the subcommittee chairs, as we call them, all worked so well in their areas, and we got 12 separate appropriations bills passed through the House, and we had a triumphant press conference announcing that. We expected it to be on a glide path through the Senate, but of course the Democrats could not miss an opportunity to try to shut the government down again. That's what they're doing. Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats play games with government funding. Now, listen, the president obviously has reached out to state and local officials in the state of Minnesota. The events there have been tragic and unnecessary. He's made clear his desire to de-escalate the situation and to support an honest investigation of what's occurred there. We now have Tom Homan in charge of operations there, and he's an extraordinary leader. He has 40 years experience. He's highly decorated, has worked in Democrat and Republican administrations, and knows what he's doing. And there's more order being brought to the chaos. Now, I want to hasten to say that the chaos is because, in large measure, the local and state officials in Minnesota have not been participating with federal law enforcement operations, and they've created a dangerous situation there, and that is really a big part of the problem here. The White House and the Senate continued in good faith. They've agreed to separate the Homeland Security funding bill, and that's fine. So we have 2 weeks now to negotiate in good faith on both sides. The White House and Senate Democrats are going to engage in that, but the House Republicans are as well. We have to make sure we maintain the important parameters here. We can't go down the road of amnesty. You can't, in any way, lighten the enforcement requirement of federal immigration law. That's what the American people demand and deserve. We want dangerous, illegal criminals to be sent out of the country, and they've been very successful at that. But these negotiations are going to go forward. If the Democrats do insist on keeping the government shut down, their pointless obstruction is going to have no effect on border security, which we have done, we've secured, or immigration enforcement. As has been noted by the leaders here this morning, we did fund ICE operations for a few years now. So what they'll be shutting down, don't lose this, what they'll be shutting down is FEMA operations as we're cleaning up from the winter storms. They'll be shutting down TSA, which is obviously necessary to keep the country moving through our airports. Coast Guard operations. I mean, so many important functions in the Department of Homeland Security is what will be adversely affected by these partisan games. Let's hope and pray that they don't do that. Let's hope that over the next 2 weeks we can negotiate and get this done. They say they want a real negotiation with President Trump and Republicans over immigration enforcement policy, and we are happy to have that debate. And I've said in a gaggle earlier this morning that what must be a part of that discussion is the participation of blue cities in federal immigration enforcement. You can't go to a sanctuary city and pretend like the law doesn't apply there. It does. And so we're going to be working through all that. Our chairwoman McClain talked about tax filing made easy. Last week marked the beginning of tax season, and millions of American families are working through that right now, and they're recognizing the amount of time and money spent complying with the federal tax code is going to be significantly reduced this year because of great Republican policy. some of the things we did in the Working Families Tax Cuts, the big beautiful bill, obviously we intended to cut taxes and to advance America First pro-growth policies, but we also sought to reduce the tax burden on Americans, because we know that reforming the tax system isn't just about reducing rates, it's also about reducing the paperwork and the compliance burden on Americans. And you heard these stats, I'll repeat them, but our Working Families Tax Cut locked in the doubled standard deduction. It boosted it further to $31,500 for American families. That's a lot of money to hardworking folks. And again, we remind you Democrats voted against all of those great reforms. These successful reforms are going to save Americans 210 million hours per year in paperwork and $13 billion in compliance costs. That's real money to real people, and we're proud of that. Nobody likes paying taxes, okay? But Republicans have reduced the amount you owe and made your returns significantly easier to file. And so we're so grateful everyone's going to be able to take advantage of that. Last thing I just want to mention, and we'll take questions. I don't think the American people need any more evidence that Democrats want to tax the American people to death. Just check congress.gov. You can see all the bills they filed. But if they did, they should look no further than the Democrat-run D.C. Council's decision, listen to this, to decouple the local tax code from specific federal tax provisions. So in layman's terms, what they're trying to do here, any Democrat-run city is going to lead into this kind of nonsense, but they're preventing D.C. residents from experiencing the full benefits of the Working Families Tax Cuts bill. It's almost unimaginable that they would inflict that pain upon their own constituents, but that's what they're doing. D.C. is not alone in this obstruction. You've got strongholds, Democrat strongholds like New York and Colorado and Illinois, cities there, preventing their residents from enjoying these benefits. There's no way to spin it. Blue state governors intentionally harming their own residents just because the policies were offered by a Republican administration. I mean, that's what's happening. And it's just incredible to us. Is there any stronger evidence that Republicans are the party of affordability? Democrats say one thing and they do completely the opposite. And I'm so sad for you if you live in one of those jurisdictions. It's a real problem. If this act were to become local law, D.C. residents would be prevented from claiming no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, the increased standard deduction, and so much more. And it's just wrong. There's an estimated 17,000 tipped workers here in the nation's capital, and the D.C. City Council is attempting to prevent them from enjoying this historic tax benefit. But House Republicans are going to work to fix it this week. We will advance Representative Gill's legislation to disapprove of that nonsense at the D.C. Council, because every American deserves to enjoy the benefits of the Republicans' historic tax cuts, even if you live in a Democrat stronghold. Have to take a couple questions. Bill, go ahead.
Thank you, Speaker Johnson. Are you confident you have the votes for this rule vote to pass, and do you expect any Republican no votes at all?
I don't, and this may be hard for some of y'all to believe, but I never doubted this. This was not this is not my preferred route. I wanted to keep all 6 bills together. We worked so hard to pass them through the House, and I thought that should have been a package that sailed through the Senate, got to the President's desk, so we can fund government responsibly. We're spending less money year over year, and we're returning regular order around here, and that's a commitment I made when I became Speaker, and we're finally getting it done. But listen, the President agreed with Schumer that they would separate Homeland, and we'll do that, and we'll handle it. We're going to pass the rule today. It was never in doubt to me. The Republicans are going to do the responsible thing. I did talk to Hakeem Jeffries over the weekend, and he informed me that they would not be assisting in this endeavor. And I just think that's crazy. I mean, I just think that everybody needs to look at what's happening here. One party is moving forward, by the way, with the smallest margin in U.S. history. We now have a 1-vote margin. We are still sticking together. The Republican Party is sticking together because the stakes are so high. We're governing responsibly, and we're getting the job done. And Democrats, all they do every single day here is obstruct. And you can see the record for itself. They shut the government down for 43 days, the longest in history, just last fall, and they want to do it again. And it's just crazy. And I think the American people are going to think about this hard when they go to the voting box and to the ballot box in the fall, and we decide who keeps the majority in Congress. I think they're going to give it to the grown-ups. I think the Republicans will be able to continue and grow our majority to keep governing. Otherwise, what Democrats will give you is chaos. Shutdowns. They'll shut down the federal government. They keep proving it to you over and over. So take them at their word.
Mr. Speaker.
Explain this. So Jeffries told you he wasn't going to help with this. Did Schumer represent something different to you in your conversations with the president? Because it seems that there's a disconnect here that's hard to square.
It is hard to square, and it's not my place to get involved in their family squabble. But I mean, I think Hakeem has made very clear, I think he was upset, offended that Chuck Schumer presumed to speak for House Democrats. So you'll have to figure that out. The Democrats are in a family squabble over there, and it's not of our doing. Hold on, wait a minute. Schumer and Jeffries are from the same state. They're in the same delegation, and they seem to be having a little power struggle between the two of them. So look, I'm not trying to fuel that. You asked me the question. I don't know what's going on, but I can tell you the Republicans are united, and I'm proud of that. And this is the party that is getting the job done. So,
Mr. Speaker.
Second row, yes, ma'am.
You're a constitutional lawyer. Can you detail the Fourth Amendment protections and rights someone has if an ICE agent approaches their home with an administrative warrant?
How much time do you have?
Yeah, right. Let me say this. Okay, so when ICE goes to execute a warrant, it's an administrative warrant, and it's issued by an immigration judge, and that is a sufficient legal authority to go and apprehend someone. They have violated the law. They crossed over our border illegally, and they're here and without any right to be here. Okay, that's what's happening now. The controversy has erupted where if someone is, they're going to be apprehended and they run behind a closed door and lock the door. I mean, what is ICE supposed to do? What is Immigration and Customs Enforcement supposed to do at that point? Oh, gee whiz, they locked the door. I mean, I guess we'll just go on to our, so there's some logic and reason that is to be applied here. Some have complained that the force has been excessive or what have you. I don't know. We're going to figure that out. It's part of the discussion over the next couple of weeks. I tell you what the Democrats want to do and what we cannot do, and that is they want to add an entirely new layer of warrant requirement. Okay, they want to have a judicial warrant on top of the immigration judge warrant, and we can't do that. Just think of it logically. Okay, you've got maybe 20 million illegals who came across the border just in the last 4 years when the Biden-Harris administration opened the border wide. Okay, imagine if we had to go through the process of getting a judicial warrant, an additional warrant to go and apprehend people who we know are here illegally. How much time would that take? We don't have enough judges. We don't have enough time. It would take decades probably to do that. The people who are advocating for that don't want any immigration enforcement. They do not want anybody to be sent out of the country who's here illegally, and that is blatantly what their cause is. So we've got to apply reason. We do have to apply the Constitution. We have to respect it. And those parameters need to be determined. But I can tell you that we are never going to go along with adding an entirely new layer of judicial warrants because it is unimplementable. It cannot be done, and it should not be done, and it's not necessary. Yes, ma'am. Hey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning. In 2023, I remember this, you chaired a hearing after the FBI had that raid on Mark Hub, the pro-life father. And that was something that I think to this day Republicans say was a problem in the use of force by this government.
Yeah.
And my question now is obviously we understand ICE's legitimate purpose, but we've seen guns drawn on Americans who have not necessarily protesters. We've seen people pulled out of their houses, to your point about the warrants. Do you think ICE needs to change, and CBP, any of their tactics, given what your concerns about civil liberties from the past?
I have great faith and trust in the leadership of Homeland Security and Tom Homan in particular, who's now in charge in Minnesota. He brings 40 years experience to this. He's very measured. We all believe that immigration policy ought to be balanced and strategic and smart, and it obviously needs to comply with the law. And I'm going to leave it to the experts to determine what that is. I think in the negotiation, I think we've got to remove the politics. We've got to look at what the Constitution says, what federal immigration law says, and if anybody wants to adjust immigration law, then that's why we're here in the legislative branch. But we need it. We need that approach. We need the temperature turned down. That's the president's words. And you need a steady hand at the wheel. I think Tom Homan is a great guy to do that. Yes, sir.
I just want to circle back on the judicial warrant situation. Can you just explain to me why we're talking about adding additional requirements? Adding a judicial warrant is adding an additional requirement to this process? I mean, immigration advocacy groups for years have said, don't open the door for immigration agents without a signed warrant from a judge. ICE's own field manual says entering a home without a warrant is typically a violation of the Fourth Amendment. How is this raising requirement? Isn't this the MO for how things normally work?
No, I mean, look, the question is to the Democrats who are ringing the bells and saying that they're trying to make this one of their demands in this negotiation. That's what I'm told. Some of them have. And I'm saying that that is a road that we cannot and should not go down. And to your point, ICE, for many years, obviously, has had in the manuals that you follow the Fourth Amendment restrictions and you do this in a meaningful and thoughtful way. But we have an unprecedented level of opposition and pushback. I mean, when you have local and state officials informing their citizens that they should impede the immigration, customs, and enforcement operations, it creates a dangerous situation, and that's what's led to all this chaos. If the governors and the mayors in the blue cities and states would participate with federal law enforcement, we wouldn't even be having these conversations. I mean, you would have a much smoother process, I think. So, look, we're going to have all these discussions over the next couple of weeks. We will figure out a path through this, but we have to enforce our immigration law. The American people made that the #1 issue in the last election. The wide open border and the chaos that ensued because of it was the #1 issue. The president got to work. We used the existing law that was on the books, as we always said, as I said, for 4 years under the Biden administration could have happened, and we closed the border tight. In just a couple of months, we've had almost zero illegals released into the country since President Trump took over. Strong leadership. And the next commitment was, as we said to the American people, we will get the dangerous criminal illegals out of the country. And that's what they've been doing. And for anybody to impede that, they are impeding the will of the American people. They are creating a more dangerous situation on our streets, and it has to stop. So stay tuned for the rest of this. We'll get into the details of it. I'm just telling you that adding a whole new layer of judicial warrant requirements is an unworkable proposal. And I think the people who are making that suggestion understand that. I don't think they want anyone to be apprehended and sent out of the country. So we have to see how it goes. Yeah, thank you.
Question about elections. Happy belated birthday, Mr. Speaker.
Happy belated birthday.
Happy belated birthday. What's up, everybody? Welcome. So, they are expecting 100% shutdown to end right now. They do have slight majority Republicans. So, we're hoping that today this ends. And if it ends, this is going to give us, an open door for Clarity Act that's supposed to come in anytime soon. And that's what we as crypto investors we're looking for. Morning, everybody. How you doing? Oscar here live. Drop a like, guys. Consider subscribing to the channel and welcome always. Always want to keep you in the know with the latest because there's a bunch of things happening. And just to pivot a little bit and very quickly from YouTube to X, guess what's happening right now? Guess what's happening right now? As you can tell, we have Ondo Finance, the Ondo Summit in New York right now.
On public equities and commodities.
Because it's all about tokenization. What's up, Cyber? Good to see you, buddy, and welcome. I'm very excited. I mean, this is really big. We have Ripple. We have big company. Let me just show you all the awesome companies that are going to be, contributing and talking. We got BlackRock, Wisdom Tree, the White House, Pantera Capital, DTCC, and more. And you, of course, can see Fidelity and even Goldman Sachs. Now, this whole week, we're going to have some economical data also coming in for us, for the entire country. And I'm expecting, shutdown end. I'm expecting, Clarity coming in anytime soon. I mean, they're already talking about it. They're already coming in closer. Here it is. The lineup proves tokenization is inevitable. We got banks, payment providers, crypto, asset managers, right? Crypto and finance magazines, and McKinsey, it's a consulting firm, and more. So it's gonna be so good, and I think people are watching very, very, very closely, right? Now take a look at the latest here on MetaMask, on WatchGuru. MetaMask integrates tokenized U.S. stocks, ETFs, and commodities. It's really nice. What is that? Elon Musk says SpaceX might put a Dogecoin on Moon next year. Classic. I mean, that's why Doge is always doing pretty nicely, FY. Gonna move on to Coin. We got a bunch of Cointelegraph and Coin Bureau. Bitwise launched digital asset model portfolios for financial advisors. So it's really nice. You know, they're always trying to get more and more. Sailor saying the rules of Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin and do not sell Bitcoin. That's what he's saying right now. That's what he's saying. Every YouTuber was wrong on XRP price prediction for XRP for 2025. Jake was 99.99% wrong. Yeah, it's okay. We were wrong. Yeah. And we did well overall because we have more XRP and less XRP. Despite the price not ending at the level that we wanted, guess what? My prediction for the XRP accumulation did really well because we kept buying the dip. So it's really nice. What is that? Crypto versus banks, the safety debate. So there's more conversations. That's Chief Legal Officer of Coinbase.
As under the Clarity Act, it's very clear the crypto industry is going to be under strict supervision and have strict oversight at the federal level. In fact, in many ways, for the very first time. The other thing I would say is that, you know, when it comes to stablecoin deposits, it's important to understand that these deposits with stablecoin issuers are not then relent out to other parts of the economy. These are backed dollar for dollar in short-term instruments, principally U.S. Treasuries. They are much more secure than a fractionalized system that we have with the banks that introduce all sorts of systemic risks that don't apply here.
You know, this guy, I'm sure he was at the White House, conversation yesterday. I'm sure he was there. So just FYI. Oh my goodness, X, what are you showing me? You kidding me, bro? No, I hope you guys didn't see that, please. Can't believe it, man. It's just crazy. I mean, I just tried to look for stuff. Okay. This is a 32-second. Yeah, there you go. Pretty nice. Guys, I have a few things that I want to show you that are pretty awesome. We already have it updated, and I'm sure that you're ready for more money, more chances to make money while we wait for better prices. Nah, I don't like it, Oscar. I love Ando, but its price is in the dumpster. I know, bro. Ando is just so down right now. Crazy, right? Go buy that Trojan horse Bitcoin, says Josh. Short from $3.3, target 60. Someone are holding some shorts from $3. You guys are making a lot of money. Kudos to you guys. Very excited for you because making money, that's what we're here for, right? And it's gonna be okay. Now, I'm holding long term, so I'm not really going crazy or mad about it. I mean, it's just the way it is. It happens. But I got something I told you yesterday a lot, and now they updated it. So here it comes. First, BTCC. Look at this. We're back. Make some noise in the chat. Drop a like. Show me an emoji or whatever. We're back with the 3,000 XRP giveaway. We just gave out 2,000 XRP to the winner. Who, you might ask? Check this out. 4 winners. September, October, November, December. And we now have our latest January 2026 winner, 2,000 XRP. Kudos, man. Kudos to all of you. Kudos to the ones who sign up. That's why we have it. First link down below. By the way, major announcement too. And TJ is already reminding you a lot right there. I just updated all my links. If you clicked in the description, you're going to see a more organized and simpler way of seeing my links. And even I'm giving you my socials too. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Why? Because if you go on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, and you browse my name, you're going to find scammers, people who are not me and are scamming people for a living. And I'm so sorry about that because there's nothing I can do. But one thing I found, which is I wasn't doing it before because I'm due to an ex, mainly is let's just go ahead and create an account and let's tell my entire community that's me. So I no longer shadow or ignoring those social networks. Now I'm telling you exactly what my link is so no one gets scammed and no one gets hurt. So if you want to find me on Facebook, there's my link on Facebook. I'm not going to post much, but that's me. Someone else DMing you, that's not me. If you want to find me on TikTok, my TikTok link is there. I'm not going to DM you on TikTok, so please ignore all scammers. And if you want to find me on Instagram, you got my Instagram link down there. So I'm doing it because I care about my community. I love my community, and I want to make sure that no one gets hurt. That's it. Okay? So just FYI, guys. You got all my links. And also, we got this baby coming in. Shout out to our friends at Bitunix. Look at that beauty. The post and trading rewards, guys. Here, it's the link. So if you're watching, there's my Bitunix link where you can come in. You'll have my code there, and you have another chance of welcoming awesome rewards. It's another big one that gives you up to 10,000 welcome newcomers rewards. So it's just incredible. I met them in Singapore. I met them in Dubai too. They're great people. So just FYI, for those who want to keep trading, shorting, longing, there you go. All right? So shout out to them. The link is down there. And also you will find a link in the description too. And you talk with BTCC and see if they can create an isolated, not cross-margin mode for Coin M. Oh, for using crypto, right? Instead of USDT. Okay, yeah. I mean, you can use USDT and do isolated, right? Just go to what is called Pro, right? Futures Pro. I'm sure you know where that is, Bradley. But I'm going to tell them, okay, I know exactly what you're asking me right now. So I'm going to tell them, basically using crypto like Bitcoin, XRP, and use isolated mode. Okay, I'm going to tell them. Thank you. That's the beautiful thing about my relationship with some of the exchanges, right? That I can tell them exactly what my audience want, and that goes through me, and then I tell them. So, good. Thank you, Bradley. Appreciate that a lot, man. I think that's a great idea, too. I don't use it, but I use USDT. I find it much better. Just FYI. All right. Thank you, Bradley. Appreciate that a lot, brother. Welcome. Less scrolling, more creating. Yes, links are down there, and I hope that you guys like it a lot.
If everything goes according to plan here on the Hill today, this partial government shutdown should be over by some point later today. Now, a large part of that reason is President Trump decided to get involved. He urged a handful of House Republicans to drop their demand to attach the GOP voter ID law known as the SAVE Act to this package of government spending bills. Speaker Johnson says now just isn't the time for that.
Now, the thing is that Trump is about to speak at 11 a.m. East, which is 10 a.m. for us. Which I also want to take a look at Thomas here. So give me 1 second. I need my Fox News right now. Okay, Fox, give it to me. Oscar, what do you think about Coinbase related and Ripple, right? Yeah, that's not really what I'm taking my time or using my time, with the Epstein files or so. Yeah, that's not me. You can find someone else talking about it, but nah, bro. I don't want to get into that kind of worms. Thank you, TJ. Good morning, buddy. Welcome. Very happy to see each and every one of you right here with me. Always keeping you in the know, right? Let me see. Tyler Robinson speaking in court at 3 p.m. East. No, we're not going to watch that. We're not going to watch that. New Yorkers slam Mamdani for slow snow cleanup. Really, dude? Slow snow cleanup. Okay. Just clean your city, right? Keep your city clean. Keep your city clean. All right, let me take a look at RSBN. What is this? Bill and Hillary Clinton agreed to testify. Dude! Oh, man. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I do it? Dude, like this has to do with the Epstein files. I don't talk about that. But do you have a clue how many people are going to watch this, bro? Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to be watching this, bro. Like, the great Bill and Hillary Clinton, bro. Dude, I don't know, guys. You guys have to convince me. You guys have to convince me. I'm not sure about that, bro. Oh, man. What was the guy going to do? Oh, yeah, you too. I'll watch it, no cap. People are like, we'll watch it, bro. We'll watch it, bro. Cover it. Okay. You guys are convincing me, guys. You're doing a good job. RSBN. So this was yesterday, bro. I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know it was gonna be like a press conference or whatever. But yeah, it was a really good one, and I wasn't here for it. So it happens, you know. But this was yesterday. It was really good. They talked about crypto. Can you believe it? They talked about crypto. That's amazing, guys. President Trump holds a signing ceremony. Now, today, oh, yeah, I remember what I was going to do. So this is what we have right now. We have at 11 a.m., the president welcomes or participates in a meeting with President of the Republic of Colombia. Colombia, today, right now. Trump, Colombia. So, okay. And the president participates in a signing time. So, what that is, I have no clue. That's why I'm watching Fox News right now. So, just FYI, this is what's coming up. But he might be late. Who knows? Let me go to, what is it called? Orbs. I got all my links. For you guys. I mean, I'm already used to. There you go. Who do we have here? Checked. They're already talking, really? Oh my goodness. Just so you know, look at how many things are happening right this second. That baffles me. That's just like, all I'm doing here is covering crypto and, you know, a little bit more of crypto, but there's so much, which it makes it really exciting, thrilling, for me at least. But dude, like, so much going on.
That's what we want. And I don't understand.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me be clear. I support the 5 bills that received bipartisan support, but I cannot vote for a package that includes funding for the Department of Homeland Security without immediate action to stop
She's a Democrat.
the ongoing violation of human rights
She's
and law
a Democrat.
by ICE that have turned into thugs and
Bugs?
has turned our country, America, into a place that many of us don't recognize. Donald Trump promised to take violent criminals off the street, but instead, his immigration enforcement has become a campaign of cruelty against peaceful people.
Let me get some water.
Tearing families
Enjoy
apart,
our
hollowing out
awesome
businesses,
speaker
and
right here.
paralyzing
Be back.
neighborhoods with pepper spray and fear. And the crisis is national in scope, not just the headlines of the cold-blooded murders in Minnesota. The Department of Homeland Security has detained hundreds of thousands of decent people this year, often in unspeakable conditions and without a fair process. And that includes over 10,000 people in my home state of Florida. A mother nursing her baby torn away from her child. Largely good, decent mothers and fathers, workers who contribute to our communities. And yeah, we do need to take the time for bipartisan immigration reform. But today, we must rein in ICE. And that includes ending mass enforcement,
This guy gonna
roving
smoke a
patrols,
fatty.
requiring
I love you
judicial
guys. Can't
warrants,
believe it.
mandating botting
Need my
cameras,
glasses.
ending total immunity, and repurposing the billions of dollars that are being used to menace our communities. Security does not require brutality. Enforcement does not require lawlessness. And our immigration policy should reflect our values, not force us to abandon them. We can secure our borders without terrorizing our neighbors, and I will not support funding that enables cruelty. Congress must act now. Impeach Kristi Noem and rein
Gentlelady's
in
time.
ICE. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields. Gentleman reserves.
Well, Mr. Speaker, again, I think it's important to note the reason why we're here today is because Senate Democrats, along with some Senate Republicans, advanced legislation that enables us to fund the government. So I do find it interesting that our colleagues in the House here are so adamantly opposed to funding our government when 20 of their colleagues in the Senate in their own party
You guys are awesome.
not only support giving our troops a pay raise, but support paying and funding our government as it rightfully should be because of all the wins that President Trump has accomplished thus far. But I am curious, Mr. Speaker, with respect to this vote today, I hear over and over again commentary on ICE and operations therein. But again, no one has addressed the fact that today...
Hey, look at who's talking. Look who's talking, bro.
And I think the biggest trade over the last 6 months, and I can see it from our institutional engagement, and of course, you know, if you could see it on social media, or even just go to Reddit and look at Wall Street Bets, the two most traded tickers are gold and silver by a country mile. Like just Google Wall Street Bets, you know, most active, and it's what's going averaging.
Man, there's a lot of things going on today, bro. That's awesome, bro. I mean, we are still at this so cheap price. Can you believe it, bro? Like, how are we not just like $4 right now? It totally throws me off. But what it doesn't throw me off is the fact that I can control how much money I can put into crypto and what number of XRP and Bitcoin and whatever I want to hold. That doesn't throw me off. Let me turn on to it. Oh, well, I don't have the chat right now, but I'll have it. Point is, shutdown will end. Clarity will become law. We'll have a new Fed chair. And money's going to come in with the checks or whatever it is in summer. Midterms are gonna come, and the World Cup is happening. All of that in this 2026. Oh boy, exciting times.
See that this administration is taking actions every single day against its own people that are unconstitutional, un-American, and unconscionable. Everywhere, people are talking about it. In our House Democratic Caucus, we're talking about what we can do about it. The only place that we're not talking about it is here, in this chamber, on the floor of the United States House of Representatives. As Mr. McGovern just noted, once again, the Republicans that control what comes to the floor blocked any amendments to the bill, stopping not just the policy proposed, but the policy debate about the potential solutions and the problems that they address altogether. And now they say we'll address them in 2 weeks. Mr. Speaker, we don't need 2 weeks. We don't have 2 weeks. When Americans are being killed, detained, harassed, and silenced by their government, there should be no higher priority for the U.S. House of Representatives than for the entire Congress than protecting the people that we represent and protecting the Constitution that gives us all of our rights. It is being violated daily by this administration and by officials who have sworn an oath to protect it, just as we have as members of Congress. But we are not doing that here today, and that's why I'm voting no on this rule and urge my colleagues to do the same. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields. Gentleman from Georgia.
Well, Mr. Speaker, our Democrat colleagues have tried to distract from the historic achievements reached in 2025 by mischaracterizing the work of the House Committee on Rules with weaponized statistics taken out of context. I would like to remind my colleagues that barely over a third, or 37%, of rules this Congress have been closed at the discretion of the Committee on Rules, meaning for the vast majority of closed rules, there were not any amendments that could even be made in order. My friends all across the aisle, particularly my friend from Massachusetts, all too well knows the often Herculean tasks required of the Rules Committee and the difficult discussions when deliberating amendment decisions. The Rules majority believes in meaningful lawmaking, not partisan messaging exercises. We do not need to come up with partisan messaging amendments at the last minute in order to score political points or manufacture floor fights, but instead focus on advancing thoughtful, substantive legislation like the measures before us today through a fair and transparent process. And I also want to note, as I understand it, under my Democrat colleagues' stewardship of the Committee on Rules, he mentions abolishing tradition or what have you. Well, I think it's helpful to note, Mr. Speaker, that under his leadership of the Committee on Rules, they abolished the centuries-old tradition of the motion to recommit with instructions. I think we would all benefit from an explanation of abolishing that centuries-old tradition and a right of the minority. I reserve, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, a lot of words to justify the most closed Congress in history. 83% of the rules have been closed. 8 out of 10. You don't even call for amendments anymore. And people know that it's a waste of time to come to the Rules Committee because you already tipped them off. There are going to be no amendments in order. And 90% of Democratic amendments have been rejected. You know, and a big chunk of Republican amendments have been rejected. I'm sorry that your rank and file are such cheap dates when it comes to legislating, but they cave all the time and they vote for these crappy rules that are totally closed. So that's a bunch of bullshit. Let's be honest. That's what we're talking about here. That is just that's not an accurate assessment of what is going on here.
He said it.
This is the most closed Congress in history. You should be ashamed. I reserve.
I want to remind members about using profanity during debate. Gentleman's recognized.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. First and foremost, I think when your arguments are hollow, that's when you revert to foul language, and I think that's evident as we've seen today. But again, I asked the question, Mr. Speaker, to the American people, and I hope that they demand an answer. Under the gentleman from Massachusetts stewardship of the Committee on Rules, they abolished a centuries-old tradition during the 117th Congress. I think we would all welcome, we are debating, in fact, procedure today. I think we would all welcome an explanation of that horrific abolishment of committee procedure. I reserve.
Reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Yeah, and Mr. Speaker, I just want to remind my Republican friends who just kind of go along to get along. I mean, Mr. Arrington, who's a chairman, 71% of his amendments have been blocked. I mean, you know, I could write down the list. Congresswoman Mace, 76% of her amendments have been. Stubbe, 79% have been blocked. I go right down the list. These are all Republicans who just routinely get blocked. So, I mean, enough. This is a ridiculous argument. The bottom line is a lot of words to justify the most closed Congress in history, and I reserve.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Georgia.
My good.
Gentleman reserves.
May I ask
love
the gentleman
Twitter.
how many more speakers he has on his side?
Unbelievable.
Hold on. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I yield 1 minute to the gentlelady from New Mexico, Ms. Ledger.
Gentlelady from New Mexico, got 1 minute.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Speaker. I rise today to speak up against Kristi Noem's Department of Homeland Security. And speaking up is what we must do when we see that the Constitution is violated and the moral fabric of our nation is brutalized the same way they are brutalizing our communities and killing our citizens. Whether it's in New Mexico or Minnesota, fear has become a policy for ICE and CBP, and cruelty has become their strategy as they take money that is taxpayer money that could be used for affordable housing, for health care, for bringing down the cost of living, and they are spending it to terrorize our community. Following the Constitution, respecting the First, Fourth, and 14th Amendment should not be optional. It should never be up for a negotiation. We should make it a requirement and make sure that they do not have immunity, because then they act with impunity. impunity.
look
And
at
we should not give
this.
another penny to the Department of Homeland
Look at
Security
this.
until we
Minutes
get
up.
accountability. And with that, I urge
Economist Robin Brooks predicts President Trump's Fed pick Kevin Warsh will cut by 100 basis points. And you know what? I was telling some friends of mine, like, I want to refinance my property so bad, bro. But I'm waiting for this guy to come in. I mean, as soon as he cuts 100, I'm just waiting for the prime rate to go down and the mortgage rates to come down and then refinance. So yeah, not financial advice, but I'm waiting for this guy to come in and start slashing that baby up.
They want to pretend like they're not in control because then they'll be because if they pretend like they're in control,
On the
if
jump.
they acknowledge that they're in control,
Yeah, please.
then they'll be held accountable in November. Now look what they've
Yay,
promised
finally.
and compare it to what they've done so far. Tax breaks for
Man.
billionaires. They make sure their big donors are taken care of while they screw over regular people. $40 billion to Argentina, hurting our farmers and ranchers, importing more beef from South America, bombing Venezuela, threatening to invade NATO allies. Meanwhile, prices are not down, prices are up because of their stupid tariffs and lousy economic policies. They promised to release all the Epstein files. They still haven't done that. In fact, they're covering up for the President of the United States. And people are struggling more than ever because Trump's economy sucks. They are making it easier for the elites, easier for the billionaires, easier for the Epstein class, and harder for everybody else. Maybe that's why even Republicans are finally acknowledging MAGA was all a lie. Of course, their members only acknowledge that after they leave. But let's listen to Trump's former top ally, Marjorie Taylor Greene. And here's what she said, and I quote, "I think people are realizing it was all a lie. It was a big lie for the people. What MAGA is really serving in this administration, who they're serving is their big donors," end quote. Look at who Republicans have helped. They have been in charge for a year. They've helped big oil. They've helped big banks. They've helped big tech. Look who was in the front row at Trump's inauguration. Billionaires. That's all he cares about. And look at their promises to go after, quote, the worst of the worst when it comes to immigration. Another broken promise. Stephen Miller and Kristi Noem are not going after the worst of the worst. They're going after kids, VA nurses. They're deporting veterans, for God's sake. And so we are sick and tired of the broken promises and the lies. Enough. I talk to Republican colleagues all the time who privately confess to me that this is a disaster. And then they come on the floor and then they talk to the press and say everything is beautiful. That's just not reality. This president and this administration is taking this country in the wrong direction. We have people that are being murdered in our streets by U.S. federal agents. When is enough going to be enough? I mean, I can't believe this. Go along to get along. I get it. Everybody over there is afraid of the guy in the White House. But maybe you should be more afraid of your constituents. Maybe you ought to listen to your constituents because they're sick and tired of this BS. They've had it. They want Congress to be a body that fights for them, that fights to improve the quality of life for average people. They want this body to be a place where we debate important issues passionately and we skip all the crazy debates we have on trivial matters. We can do so much better. We can do so much better. But it requires, my friends on the other side of the aisle, to kind of grow a spine, to stand up and to say and do the right thing. This is nuts, what's happening. People being murdered in our streets, federal agents crashing into people's homes without a judicial warrant, former off-duty police officers being detained by ICE. I mean, you know, people with brown and black skin being detained routinely by ICE. This has to stop. And Mr. Speaker, I urge all my colleagues to vote no on this rule. Let's get to the negotiating table. Let's do something to reel in this out of control agency. But going along to get along is no longer an option. I yield back my time.
Gentleman yields. Gentleman from Georgia is recognized.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'd first say that screaming doesn't make up for substance. But in closing, the rule I presented today, House Resolution 1032, enables the House of Representatives to carry out its responsibilities and to govern in an orderly and fair manner for the American people. And as a reminder, a yes vote on this rule enables us to consider legislation that ends the Democrats' second government shutdown and ensures that our government remains fully open. It ensures that our soldiers, our sailors, our Marines, our airmen, and our guardians are paid on time and receive the pay raise they so rightfully deserve. A yes vote on this rule enables us to consider legislation that protects working families, seniors, and small businesses in the District of Columbia by allowing the House to address actions that deny them the benefits of historic tax relief enacted by Congress. A yes vote on this rule enables us to consider legislation that strengthens America's economic and national security by advancing domestic mineral production, something we didn't talk about enough today, which reduces our reliance on foreign sources and supports job creation here at home. And finally, a yes vote on this rule enables us to consider legislation that preserves equal debate, protects the rights of the minority, and allows members on both sides of the aisle to fully participate in the legislative process. Mr. Speaker, this rule allows the House of Representatives to govern and to deliver on the responsibilities entrusted to us. I urge my colleagues to vote yes on this rule. Mr. Speaker, I hope those watching enjoyed our lively debate with the gentleman from Massachusetts and his colleagues. Although for any families watching, I hope they edited out the gentleman's foul language and taking the name of the Lord in vain. But let's see which arguments prevail, because we're about to vote. So, Mr. Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time and move the previous question on the resolution.
Gentleman yields. The question is on ordering the previous question on the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker,
Gentleman is recognized.
I ask for the yeas and nays.
Gentleman recognized. Ask for the yeas and nays. The yeas and nays are requested. Those favoring a vote by the yeas and nays will rise. A sufficient number having risen, the yeas and nays are ordered. Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20, further proceedings of the question will be postponed. Pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the Chair declares the House in recess for a period of 15 minutes. Less than 15 minutes.
Who doesn't like politics? When you go ahead and talk to your friends, and they're like, "Sure, what's up to? What you up to?" And then you're like, "I've been watching politics," and they just wanna leave you on red, and they're like, "Okay, bye, dude." No. Or worse yet, when you're like, "Oh, dude, crypto is awesome." They're like, "Dude, you again with crypto, with your crypto stuff?" I mean, this is the only place when you can be yourself, you know, with Oscar Ramos right here, right now. We really are thrilled to have you. Good morning. A beautiful Tuesday. And Trump's supposed to be speaking, but he's not. But we found this, so it's fine. We're good. We're good. We're having a good time. But yeah, I mean, as per Speaker Johnson, this is supposed to end today. Somebody said, "Crypto life." People I told about XRP hate me. I know, bro. It happens. It happens. I'm tired of winning, Oscar. I'm tired of winning. 15 minutes. We sat here for 4 hours. Last time he said 15 minutes. Yeah, this was live. This was live. And this is live. Okay, so Trump is going to speak sometime, somewhere. I don't know when, but he will speak sometime. Oh, not the Democrats.
Funding bill on final passage. What will you say to the base when they say you guys have just given up your leverage?
What I'll say to all of you and what
Democrat.
I'll say to the members, first, we got to see what happens with this rule vote. You're making an assumption that this package passes in the afternoon, and I think that's fair. That's fine. I'll play along, but what you'll hear from these for leverage, not 6 months away, not in the next appropriation cycle, not September 30th. We have some opportunities to make our voices heard in the next 10 days. And if we can build a coalition that includes our Senate colleagues and includes the American public who are seemingly already with us, that's a good first step. So that's what's in front of us. We'll see what happens with this vote. But I
What's
feel
up,
very
Alex?
confident
What's up,
saying that
Elizabeth?
House Democrats are going to emerge and to say we need reforms on ICE. We have a list that we want done, and we aren't settling for half measures. And if Leader Thune and Speaker Johnson don't want to come to the table and negotiate real reform, then they're going to have to explain to the American public why they're shutting down, agencies. And maybe that's something they're comfortable, doing, but that's not going to be on us. It's going to be on them approving the lawlessness of ICE without making simple reforms that respect the First, Second, Fourth, 10th Amendment, and tries to offer some level of accountability and oversight over these agencies.
It appears this deal we're voting on today stems from Leader Schumer talking directly to the White House. Do you feel that House Democrats are being included enough in those conversations, especially if we get down the road of negotiating possible changes?
It's okay. That's fine. Democrats, you tried, of course. It is what it is, right? I mean, I remember 2021, 2, 3, 4, when they were in power, right? I remember. But anyway, what do I know, right? I mean, we'll continue watching, observing, but we're here for Clarity Act. We're here for open government. We're here for follow the law, obey the law. No one is above the law. So we love that. I think a lot of people can rally forward with that. Everybody, that was over 1 hour of goodness. How do you like it? I hope you did. We had a lot of people. We have a lot of people. We're really thankful with all of you guys. Once again, a big reminder to all of you guys. If you click the description right now on your phone or on your computer, you're going to see brand new links, brand new organization. It looks so good. I'm showing you my socials. I'm showing you some new links, some powerful giveaways. Get the money now. Try it now, right? I mean, we're going to go higher. I want to make sure that you guys are in the best position possible to make a lot of money in crypto. So we're here solid and ready. Yesterday, we had a really good day with the videos. Today, we're starting with a powerful live. Trump might be live eventually, but I decided to come in and keep you in the know with the shutdown because we need this to end ASAP, like fast. There's not going to be any Clarity Act if this is closed, so just FYI. Closing the poll right now, too. Once shutdown ends, for the first time, Big Nothing Burger won, because usually Pam wins. So, all right. People, I think, already know nothing's going to happen, but we'll see, right? We'll keep an eye on everything. We'll keep an eye on everything. Thank you, TJ. Thank you, Ghost. And thank you to all, Chipper, of course. Thank you to all of you guys. You're awesome, as always. Let me see. Can 4,000 Xrp generate 100,000 a year? That's a lot of money, Jake. That's a lot of money. They're talking right now. They're in a nice rest. What is this? Right now we have 2.63, so nothing has happened. I think they're waiting, right? And one of the big things is the shutdown ending, which is good. The next decade belongs to Bitcoin. In 10 years from now, Bitcoin will have massively outperformed gold. Again, let's listen to this.
The total inflows, and we do track the gold to Bitcoin ratio. And yeah, gold got way ahead, but they do alternate back and forth. And actually, I think it's kind of cool that the total inflows to ETFs for both gold, old school gold, and digital gold, Bitcoin, are about the same over the last couple of years. So, markets, they kind of get excited about one thing and it goes up a bit more, and then I think it'll cycle back into Bitcoin and it'll catch back up to gold. And 10 years from now, Bitcoin will massively outperform gold.
That is the founder and CEO of Pantera Capital. They're talking and telling you in about 10 years from now, gold might be 50 trillion, 60 trillion, who knows? 40 trillion. Bitcoin is 1.something trillion. So reaching $1 million per Bitcoin doesn't sound too crazy. This is not coming from a content creator. This is not coming from an influencer. This is not coming from a YouTuber. don't pay too much attention to us for our opinions. These are our opinions, and we're having great time. We're having fun. We create a community. We have real conversations, and we're here for you guys all the way. But we are not the builders. Like, I'm not the building. I'm not the developer. I'm not the one building billion level, trillion level companies. And I'm okay with that. But I'm bringing you all the data, facts, and knowledge so you make your own decisions. Now, this guy is a big, powerful guy in business, and he's telling you that in the next 10 years, Bitcoin will massively outperform gold. So you decide what to do. You decide what to do, not me. You decide what to do. Whether you want to buy BTC at $110,000, $200,000, $500,000, it's up to you, not to me. But I made my choice. I made my decision. And that's why I'm all in crypto. All in. And I'm very happy and blessed to have you all. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope this is the time for us. Links down below. I'll see you on Bitunix. You'll find the link down there. You can sign up with my link too. BTCC as well. And we might be bringing more exchanges with more bonuses. I'm already talking to some of them too. So it's exciting, to bring more opportunities to all of you guys. Thank you. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Take it easy, everybody. Let's have a good breakfast because I'm a little hungry. So let's have a good breakfast. It's time to relax and come back stronger. Peace.